Hi, my name's Laura from Massage by Laura in Marlton, New Jersey. I am going to be doing weekly videos, probably one or two each week, and it's called Virtual Virtues. And today, the topic is going to be on acceptance. I thought during this time with the pandemic and everybody being stuck in their houses, many of us not being able to work and do what we love, many people that we know are sick or in a lot of fear. It's really a good time to talk about acceptance because I looked up the actual definition of acceptance, and the definition is it's in human psychology, it's a person's assent to the reality of a situation, recognizing a process or condition without attempting to protest or change it. Acceptance means, in a nutshell, accepting reality and embracing it. It's a willingness to experience things as they are instead of how we wish they would be. So how perfect, to talk about acceptance during this time, because how many people out there, wish they could be doing the job that they love. Maybe some of us aren't. Maybe some people are like, woohoo, I don't have to work. Like, I hate my job, But maybe that's easier to accept if it's actually something that you're enjoying is not working. But I miss my clients, and I could be like, well, I can't work and I can't see clients and I can't make money, and just sit here complaining. But the reality is nobody can work that is going to be in contact with people, and if you're a non-essential business, why put ourselves at risk? Why put our clients at risk? Why put ourselves at risk and our families at risk? So it's one of these things, like, it is what it is. But just because something is what it is, it doesn't mean that we have to be like okay with it. It's not just like, oh, suck it up, you got to deal with it. That's not acceptance. Acceptance is not, something that you're agreeing on. It doesn't mean that you're agreeing with what's going on. It just means that you're able to embrace it, because it's really useless to struggle against it. It's a waste of your energy. It's also, acceptance is not accepting that what is happening is even fair. It's not fair, that the world is going through this. But from like a spiritual perspective, I can look at this and be like, okay, I can ask myself and get quiet and say, like, what is the bigger reason that this is happening? I truly believe there's a reason for everything, the good and the bad, the ugly. I feel bad saying that because some people are losing their lives over this, and I just can't imagine losing someone I love at this time. But I've heard the ozone layer is healing. The air is clearer. The people are becoming more connected. People are slowing down and having to focus on more of their spiritual self than their physical self. There's, even when I go to the grocery store, which I try not to go to too often, I try to wait and just go once a week, if that. But you just feel this sense of connected, this connection with people and strangers that I've never really felt as strongly as I feel now. Or Kurt and I went for a jog yesterday, and we passed by so many people walking their dogs or just walking together in the park. Not in the park, but there's a walkway by our house, a pathway to a park near our house, which there was a lot of people running by there. And even though anytime I go jogging, if I pass by somebody, you're usually like, hi, hey, because you're like, hey, I'm jogging, you're jogging, we're both healthy, woo woo, but this time it's there's so many more people out there, so it's it's really nice. So I'm just trying to look at all the good in life right now, and of course the news focuses on all the bad stuff. So the other thing I want to mention is some people might think that like when someone's like, oh, like you just have to accept something, that it's like a sign of weakness. Like, no, you have to fight against it. If that's not what you want, fight against it. Now, there is a difference because there's some things that you, like the things that I'm talking about, acceptance is something that you cannot change. So when you can't change this situation, I can't change that COVID is around and infecting people. You know, I can do my part to help not spread it and help not get it, but I can't change the fact that it's out there and this is happening. So if I can't do anything to change it, I can either fight against it and be angry, or I can accept it and do what I can do to make the most of the situation. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it definitely reminds me of the Serenity Prayer. I've always loved that prayer, but now more than ever, it feels like it really, really resonates. And the Serenity Prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the wisdom or the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that sums it up like perfectly. I could probably end this video here because you accept the things that you cannot change. You be strong enough and have the courage to change the things that you can do something about. And then you have to know and have the wisdom that either I can change this or I can't change this. So for example, if your partner does something that you don't like, you can't change the way your partner is. You might say, hey, I need you to do this. Like if it's something simple, like I need you to put the dishes in the dishwasher. Like you could say what your needs are, but you can't make them do it. You know, you could just say what you need. But if there's somebody else's behavior like that you don't know, like I can be angry that this guy is having road rage at me, you know, but am I going to let that ruin my day because this guy was mean to me and gave me the finger on the road? No, I'm going to accept that, you know, maybe this guy is just upset or angry about something and he's taking it out on me for really no reason. I'm just going to accept that he's having a bad day. I'm not going to take it on and I'm going to move on. I can't change what he just did, but I can change my perception of it and how it makes me feel. The other thing is that although learning to accept the things that you cannot change can be challenging, there are many benefits to learning to accept the things you cannot change. So whatever you're refusing to accept, most of the time is causing you more pain. Your non-acceptance is making it more painful. So in Buddhist philosophy, their idea is suffering is the sum of pain times resistance. So you could be feeling pain, but your resistance to be able to accept that you're having this pain, the resistance to it makes it worse. So it actually is better you have to go through it and you have to feel it or else it affects you greater. So desiring the world right now to be something different than what it actually is, it can be very, very frustrating if that's what your focus is on. So what you can do is instead of like wishing the world and the situation was different, just find something that lights you up inside. Find something that makes your soul happy. So for me, it's reading. For me, it's cooking. For me, I also like to play Tetris. I love playing board games with my son. I love exercising up in my loft with my fiance and my son. I love taking bubble baths and doing skincare, shaving my legs. I love taking continuing education courses. I love, like I said, I love saving quotes from Facebook and Instagram. And I love listening to music, and I'm loving cleaning right now. Like, that's very therapeutic for me. I'm just going through and purging and getting rid of a lot of stuff, and it's really healing for me, actually, just getting rid of old stuff that I no longer need. It's like not serving me anymore. It's just taking up space, and it's like almost like emotionally clearing me out too. So I'm really appreciative of the time to be able to do that right now. And another benefit of acceptance, it helps you, it allows you to move on instead of feeling stuck and like, well, I should have done this, or I would have done this differently. Like, sometimes you just have to accept, like, this is what I did, this was what happened because of it, but now I learned not to make that same mistake again, like, this helped me grow. So even though maybe the situation wasn't great, like, I can learn and use this experience as a learning experience and then move on from that instead of beating yourself up for it, right? And I think the biggest thing is really just letting go of the need to feel like you're in control, because we really aren't in control. I mean, I believe in God, and I feel that God has a bigger plan. Sometimes it's not the way we want it. We want it A to B, and sometimes he has to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and come back to all the way through the alphabet, and then come back and get to B. Like, it's not what we expect. But I love that saying. It's a cliche, let go and let God, but I do believe that. Like, just have that trust that everything is going to be all right. Everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen. And it's hard. Some things are very hard to accept, but it's important. It's important to accept them. It's important to feel our feelings. I was reading online about acceptance and how it helps reduce what people experience as negative. It's been reported, actually, that it takes 5 positive experiences to counter just one negative experience. They said that our emotional selves holds on to negative experiences like Velcro. Like, we absorb it. And then like positive experience, we just it's like Teflon, like it just just slides right off of us. So it takes a lot more positive experiences to counteract the negative experience that we've been exposed to. Our new goal is to really allow the positive experiences to resonate. So just slowing down, like, instead of like, oh, wow, the moon looks pretty tonight. Like, wow, that moon looks gorgeous tonight. Like, I could just lose myself in that moon and just sit there and be quiet and stare at the moon and just feel that joy, rather than just be like, oh, cool, look at the moon. Yeah, what's next? Like, it makes me think of my son on Christmas morning. Like, when he was little, he would like rip open a present. Power Ranger. Oh, next. Oh, Under Armour shirt. Oh, next. And like everything would be like, what's next? What's next? What's next? And it's like, it feels crazy, right? And I feel like that's how a lot of us go through life. It's like next. And even, for example, like when I would go to like a spa, I feel like you're on a conveyor belt. Like, they're just like, who's the next client? Who's the next client? Whereas, when you have your own business, you can make more time in between clients, so you can really take your time and enjoy being present with each client. It's kind of like that, but like in life. Like, don't overschedule yourself. That's what I used to do all the time. I think I was running from my emotions by constantly being busy when I was younger. I didn't want any downtime. And now it's like I love my me time and having that quiet time. And I love waking up in the morning, like early before anybody else is up, just that peacefulness of the early morning. I never understood why my dad liked it. I'm like, why do you wake up at like 5:30 in the morning or 4 in the morning even sometimes and just sit by yourself and drink coffee and read the newspaper? And now that I'm almost 40, like I get it. Like that's what I like to do too. I don't like to drink coffee, but I like to wake up early and hear the birds and just like be with myself. And I love that time. So as far as acceptance goes, what we were talking about, slowing down and just really enjoying the moments. Even in like the worst case scenarios, like what we're going through now, like we can really find things to appreciate. We can appreciate, like I said, the moon. We can appreciate a sunrise or the sunset. Tasting different foods because we have a lot of time to cook different foods. Appreciate a shower or a nice hot bath. Appreciate the time, the quality time, the love between us and our family members. Appreciate nice, good conversation and connection. Appreciate taking a nap whenever you feel like it. I just know that when I broke my neck exactly 16 years ago, because it was March 31st, 2004, I was forced to slow down. And it reminds me exactly of this time where we have to slow down and just be with ourselves. And now, instead of me just slowing down because I broke my neck, it's like the whole entire world is slowing down together. Like, I think that's a really, really powerful thing. And I think when we come out on the other side, life is going to feel more beautiful. I really believe that. The word accept is actually a verb, right? So it's an active process. It's something we need to consciously work on. And I compare it to like creating a clearing in a grass field. You have to create that clearing by walking on the same path many, many times. Every time you practice acceptance, you strengthen that. You strengthen being able to accept more things in your life. So you're creating that clear pathway for yourself. And it might be hard at first, but it gets easier and easier. Before you know it, it will just be automatic. Just like we can see that clearing that we stomped down the grass so many times, we can see where to go now. Like I can accept this because I know that somebody up there has got us and is in control, and I'm good. I'm safe. And that's truly how I feel. And also, once you practice acceptance, you actually change the neural pathways in your brain, and that's what makes it easier, for you to be able to accept things in the future. And the things that we can practice acceptance with in our lives is everything. It's our current experience or what's going on in the world, our current reality. Other people's beliefs or ideas, we can accept them. We don't have to agree with them. We can accept them. Our own appearance, other people's appearances. I might not like the way somebody dresses, but I can accept it. That might not be what I would like to wear or what I think looks good, but I don't need to be judgmental about it. I can accept them because they're expressing themselves and we're all unique. Like, it would be pretty boring if we all dressed the same way, if we all looked the same, right? Accepting of our emotions. A lot of times people are in denial about how they really feel, or they are stuffing their emotions down with food or drugs or alcohol. Like, accept the feelings, express your feelings. It's really important. It's like otherwise it gets stuck in our bodies and That's what creates disease or dis-ease. It's when we feel uneasy because we're not allowing our emotions to flow through our body. Emotion, it's energy in motion. That's why they're supposed to flow. It's supposed to be in motion and get it out. Otherwise, it's going to stay in our bodies and make us feel stuck and stagnant, and then eventually lead to sickness and illness. Another thing we can accept is our state of health. For example, I'd like to lose some weight. I like to eat too. So I accept myself. I accept myself how I am right now. I had a hard time just accepting myself in the past because I wanted to be 10 pounds lighter. I want to be 20 pounds lighter. I wanted to be able to lift this much weight or run this many miles in this many minutes. You know what though? I can truly say I love myself because I know that I am here for a reason. I've got a good, huge heart, and I'm here to share with the world, everybody, all the lessons I've learned, because how many times have I wasted my time not accepting myself for who I am? It's all good, Also with accepting our health, it's not just about our weight, but if we have a disease, accepting that disease, the more we resist it, the more it persists. So just accept it. What can I learn from this? What maybe did I do to possibly create this? Not to blame yourself, but to take some responsibility, because once you take that responsibility and you accept responsibility, you can maybe do what you need to do to heal yourself, because our bodies have an amazing healing capacity. Another thing is accepting your thoughts, not beating yourself up for thoughts that you have, because sometimes we feel like we don't have control over our thoughts, but we do, and we can learn to have better control over our thoughts. And a big one is accepting other people, accepting people for who they are, not trying to change people. I know in my past I've dated people that I wanted to change, and that's the biggest mistake. If you don't love somebody for who they are when you're with them, don't expect them to change into who you want them to be, right? So accepting people for who they are is a huge one. Even with my son, sometimes I don't agree with the way he does things, but I'm like,